I like how tech companies are really trying to make their technology products easier to use. A great example, of course, would be Apple and their iPhone. This really revolutionized how we use smartphones, full touch interface and much simpler. But the nice thing is we're starting to see this on other devices that we use a lot. Case in point, printers. And this is the latest from HP. This is part of their Photosmart line.
Well, if you remember the Photosmart printers before, they had the screens on them. That's something that HP has built into their printers. But before you use the buttons here to navigate your way through. Well, now, as Mike says, it's touchscreen, so it's really easy to use. You simply just go in, you can touch the things, and it's a lot more intuitive to use, and I think that's really where the benefit comes into play.
Well, I love it. Like you said, there's not all these different kind of controls anymore. It's just a simple touch of the finger. And I think that makes it a lot easier for many of the people out there that might have been afraid to get into photo printing in the past because it was all kind of tied into the computer and it was complicated. The nice thing about these two models, and we've got the Photosmart Plus and the Premium here, is that you don't even need to have them hooked up to a computer anymore.
Yeah, that's a great point. The fact that these now hook up to your home network, you can connect directly to things like HP's got its Snapfish where you can put all your photos on there, but you can also just plug simple things like flash cards and USB cards into them. For example, we've got this USB key and we've got some photos on it. You simply just put it into the printer. We'll stick it into the Premium one here, and right away it sees that there's 17 things that it identifies as photos on there, and now from here I can simply just decide what I want to do. I can view and print, but I can even go in there and edit, or one step further, I can simply upload them to Snapfish just by using the menu.
Well, that's kind of a cool thing. You're able to then share that with friends and family that do have a computer hooked up to the internet. But again, once your albums are up there, you can actually navigate it through this touch screen as long as it's connected to the internet, and then print them out on the printer, which is a great thing.
Printing photos is really important now that we have all these digital cameras and we can take pictures on our iPhone. And just to show you a couple examples, this is my little Frank when he was just a baby, and you can just see like
what is that?
That's a dog.
It's a dog?
That's a baby French bulldog, yeah. And but you know, I mean the color. I mean these are a couple example ones that you can print out.
Do you take pictures of bananas?
Well, these are some of the example ones that they come loaded with. But we printed them out, and you can just see the colors and the vibrance that you get on these photos. That's why you want to choose a photo printer. That's why you look at these HP, the Premium and the Plus.
These are great for printing photos, but you can also print things like documents, homework assignments, or even recipes. The difference between the two, if you look at the networking, for example, this one has the built-in USB. It also has an Ethernet hardwire port and also wireless N,
yeah.
So you get that high speed. The Photosmart Plus here, it has a wireless B and G, which is still great. It doesn't have the Ethernet port, but it does come with the USB port as well. They're both all-in-ones in that they've got the scanner on top. So the Premium will scan at a higher DPI, and it'll also print out at a higher DPI. But don't get me wrong, they both produce really great results. And the cool thing with the wireless aspect too, this one also will do Bluetooth. So if you've got a camera phone with Bluetooth built into it, which they all do now, you can actually beam that picture that you've taken right to the printer. And the nice thing about the iPhone is they've created a free app that you can download, and it's called iPrint. And by simply clicking on it, I can then go into the camera roll on my iPhone, you know, all the pictures that I go out and take. And the nice thing is that it uses the Wi-Fi network, and then I can print that out. If I wanted to, I could also select the paper size, you know, if I wanted the bigger 8.5 by 11 or the 4 by 6. And what's cool too is that you can print using gadgets in Windows.
Yeah, I wanted to show that as well. You know, one thing to keep in mind is that when you buy a printer, it almost always comes with software, and that's kind of one of those extra things that I think people don't think about when they're just looking at the specs. One of the softwares that comes with this is you can load a little gadget, and I liked it because if you wanted to print something, I just drag and drop it onto my widget that's on the side of the screen, and just by simply doing that, it automatically sends it to that printer on some predetermined settings that I've set up. I like that because it just makes it, you know, easier to print. That's the whole idea here. Make it easy to print these photos so you don't get them stuck on your USB flash drives or in your phone and you don't start printing them and sharing them.
Great printers if you want to have some professional looking photographs. You might think with the quality of the prints that you'd be paying a big price, but the Plus comes in at about $180 and the Premium runs about $230. And they both do all sorts of things like sharing and printing and even scanning and copying as well.